Okay, hello everyone. It's a pleasure for me to present in front of this big audience and my team also. So I think this presentation will be interesting for you because today we will review some of the secrets of Rakuten. And let's start. The first thing that we'll do today is to introduce ourselves. Next to me is Emily. Emily, please.
Hello? Okay, cool. So I am Emily, also known as Madoka Terasaki. I'm part of the creative web and design team. And this is Kanye. He's part of the SDTD, Smart Devices Technology Department. Woo! Bring it up.
I'm part of SDTD. This is our Smart Devices Department. I'm a developer and I develop applications for Windows 8. But today we have an interesting topic for you. The three topics that we will cover: we'll give you a recipe for global success, we'll talk about Windows 8, and we will investigate the process that we use in our Windows 8 team. So the first thing is that we strongly believe that the global team is very important for achieving global success. But just the global team is not enough. We need a very mature, efficient, and clear process how we manage a global team. So today's recipe for success has two ingredients. This is a global team and a very mature process, very refined process. When we're talking about global team, we mean two main things. First one, we have a cross-border team. So we have the team divided to many different locations around the world. And second, the team is created mainly by international team members. Now the question is why this is so important for the global success. And we structure several benefits. The first one is that it brings a global mindset to the team. And I think this is very applicable to the situation in Japan, because here we have great people, great companies, but I think the focus of the companies was too much focused on Japan for a very long time. And companies in Rakuten change this approach. The second thing is that we can hire the best people in the business, the best professionals, the best developers, the best designers, and they can come in the company with their high confidence and they start asking questions. Why the things are done in this way? So they start to challenge the status quo. They don't agree to work in an environment that is not good enough for them. And I think this is very important because this helps the company to go to the next phase and to be able to compete on a different level, on a global level. And combining the strengths of the company, in our case Rakuten, with the global team, we can compete on global level or compete globally. So we have, of course, advantages and disadvantages of this model. The main advantages is that we have like a bigger talent pool. We can bring people from all over the world. We have people who are living in different countries and have very rich life experience. Also, these people are very good professionals. Also, they're okay to change teams, change locations since they're here and they already changed their country of living. We also have like a 24/7 operations. So our team in Tokyo finished their jobs. After the team in San Francisco continues, I'll give you more explanations about that later. And of course, we have like a better understanding of the global market. However, with these advantages come also the part of disadvantages. I think it's a little bit difficult to manage these teams. First, you have people coming from all over the world, different religions, different understanding of work and work ethics. So I think the managers, they have a little bit more work to do, synchronizing this team and making it work in the best possible way. And I think that the second important thing is creating and maintaining trust. Because when you have a team in Tokyo, when you have a team in San Francisco, and you have only 1 hour overlap between their working times, you have to be really, really good to stick the team in one and to take the most of it. Of course, we have the usual stuff, which are like cultural difference to locations and difference in time zones, but they're more like
this is the
stuff.
core key component of the EE specification.
Yeah. And so basically, if we have to summarize, we have like a global teams and domestic teams. Both of these teams have their pluses and minuses, advantages and disadvantages. Domestic team is very strong because it's concentrated on domestic market. They build connections and everything is good because they're focused on very only one market. The global team, on the other case, it has a global focus, and it's also able to scale faster. But in our context, in the context of Rakuten, we already created and choose our context, and this context is to become the best company in the world of internet. And this means that we have to be very competitive globally. With that said, I explained you about the global team. Now I want to focus a little bit more on the Rakuten way, how we work in Rakuten, how we interpret this abstraction of global team, and how we implement it in Rakuten. So I'll base my examples on our department. Here the guys sitting on the first line, and our managers are also here. So the idea is that we are a very international team. I like to say that we are the most international team in the Rakuten. The people in our department come from 17 different countries. The official language is English because there are so many other languages. Actually, you can hear more often Swedish than Japanese in our team. The people are very smart, very intelligent. It's really a pleasure to do. In my personal opinion, this is the best place to work in Japan if you want to work in a really and truly international team. The atmosphere is great, and I feel great in this team. Another great thing is that we have many, not many, but five different teams that cover all the main mobile technologies. At the moment, we have Android, iOS, Windows 8, SDK, and mobile team. I'll pay special attention in the next slides for Windows 8 and the SDK team, so I'll give you more details on that. The idea here is basically that the team is very international, we are very global, and we are a cross-border team. We have presence in 3 different locations around the world. The main development is done in Tokyo, but we have offices in San Francisco and India. So by our definition for global team, we are a true global team. And we partner very closely with other teams in Rakuten. Emily is part of the CWD. They provide us with design that we after implement in our applications. So Emily now explain you about her team.
Hello. So we are partnered with SDTD. We're the Creative Web and Design Department. This is our big group of 200 and so people. We provide the designs, the UI, sometimes wires, whatever the developers might need to create an application or website. And within our team, there's these 6 different teams. They help in the SEO, web analytics, design mobile, and together we're able to create many different apps. Currently, like Kanye said, we're cross-spread between 2 different continents, so it's very imperative to have good communications with these 3 locations, and this is how we create wonderful apps for the company, and this is currently the current apps we have available with Windows 8. Has anyone tried any of these applications? Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I hope that you love the experience. So onwards. The second part, I feel like Windows 8, a lot of people don't really use Windows 8, so I guess it would be a good idea to give a rough overview of the design concept. So the introduction of Windows 8. Within this area, we're thinking breaking up in 2 parts, the actual design part and architecture. I'll go over the design. So in design, the Windows 8 principle is making a very modern UI, make everything visual, a horizontal experience. It's focused on the actual core content rather than all the controls on the side. So within this, Microsoft has done is to hide all the commands or applications or filters on the side so the user can experience the actual app and have the full canvas. They put the charm on the side where you have your start button, your settings, your search, as well as the app bar. This is functions, controls that are very applicable for the applications and however you want to navigate through it. And on top of that, they implemented a snap view, which makes it easier for users to see multiple apps at once. And next off is the architecture.
Yeah, and I also want to add several comments about the Windows 8. In my opinion, Windows 8 is currently a little bit underestimated, but has a huge potential for growth. The platform is is very mature, and people and developers with background in Microsoft development can really quickly switch to this platform. With that said, I want to introduce you a little bit more technical stuff. We talk about the architecture that we use. So first of all, if you remember, in our department we have one team called SDK. This is a great opportunity for us to have this team. The main task for this team is to create for the other teams in the department reusable components, and to maintain and to receive new requests for these components from the iOS, Android, and Windows 8 teams. So basically, what is the situation in Rakuten? In Rakuten, we have like in this section on the bottom level, these are the internal APIs. They're like low-level APIs that we have to use. But most of the cases, we get them abstracted by Rakuten Application Engine, which is another team in Rakuten that runs these APIs for us and save us a lot of time making simultaneous calls to different internal APIs to get the information that we need. So the role of the SDK team is to provide components that sit on top of the Rakuten Application Engine, and these components, when integrated in our applications, feel very, very good, and they look more like a part of the frameworks that we work with, provided by Google, Microsoft, and other main players in the market. So for us, like a team, it's a very good point that we have this SDK team in our department to be able to create reusable components inside the team. Using this SDK components, we're going for our app architecture. This is the app architecture that we use for Windows 8, our Windows 8 applications. So we usually start by calling the APIs from the Rakuten App Engine. If we have some module provided by SDK, we use this module in our business logic. Otherwise, we create models, data structures, that we model our data. The main logic for our application is based here in the view models. These are the different cases, different scenarios that our application works with. The views layer is concerned with the UI experience. So these are mainly the things that we collaborate with CWD, the design that we get from them. Because of this pattern and the opportunities that Windows 8 give us, we can use our logic developed in the view models layer for different platforms. We can use it for Windows 8. Windows 8 by itself is a very diverse platform. We can run the same application on desktop, on tablet, and also we can run the same application on phone with slight modifications in the UI layer. And we expect this to happen and to be possible on Xbox very soon. So with that, we covered our recipe for global success. Where we show a little bit of Windows 8. For those that haven't tried, please try it. It's very good. And we go to the next topic, which I think is also very important. This is the process, how we work inside the team, how we manage all these different locations, how we manage all these different people, how we manage these international team members efficiently to create great products, and how we collaborate with other teams in Rakuten to really create a very, very good experience for our users. So the first thing is, our goal is to create a transparency between the different team members and stakeholders, so everybody know in every single moment where are we, what we are developing, and what are our next tasks that we have to work on. For that, we use Kanban boards. They are a visual representation of the tasks that are currently developed. They simulate the process that we have with CWD, so we go hand with hand with them. They provide us a design.
Business logics.
Yes. they provide us with a design, and we continue with
Transaction
development.
model. This is very big.
Or sometimes we start our development without initial design, and after that we refine our basic rough design with the visuals that they provide us. And all this is shown and visualized on our Kanban boards. So, Emily?
Okay. So I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about Kanban board. It's a way to to agile development. Pretty sure you all know that. For design-wise, we use a Kanban board to know what's going to happen a sprint beforehand while the developers are doing the current sprint. So we use it as a way to look at the tickets. From there, on the tickets, usually there are tasks that we need, what are the requirements that are needed. On there, there's also a link of what type of requirements for designs are needed. Based on these criteria, we create these UI, UX for the Windows 8 applications. But, see, you see a task. But, well, never mind. Go ahead.
So I also can show you the development Kanban board. So these are example list of our tasks. So people assign themselves with their pictures to some task, and they take the responsibility for this task. Each of the tasks can be divided in several different areas. So this is how we look at one very well developed ticket. So first section is the description section. On here we list all the acceptance criteria that we have to cover to think that this ticket is finished. We also have subtasks. This help us to, if the ticket is complicated, we break it in several smaller tasks, and we work for each one of them one by one. And we also assign points. And since when we are assigning points, we are divided between 3 locations: San Francisco, Tokyo, and India. And we want to vote on the same time. We use helpful software. This is Planning Poker online service. So we vote like this, and after that we decide what is the right amount. We try to convince each other what's the right one, and in the end we come up with the right number. But this won't be possible if we don't have like a quality communication during the process. So we have 3 main types of meetings. We start with the first one, which is daily status meeting. So in Tokyo we are 2 developers in the Windows 8 team. It's me, Kanyo, and Julian. And in San Francisco we have our tech lead. So every day we meet for 15 minutes up to 2 hours, depending on the issue and the situation. And discuss what we've done yesterday, what we have to do today, and is there something that blocks us currently. After that, we have a design review meeting, usually in the middle of the week, where we meet with the designers and discuss some issues that we have with their designs or requests from their side. And we have the big one, big meeting, which is called weekly planning meeting, where all the team meets. These are project managers, product managers, designers, QA people, developers, and it's for 1 hour, and we decide what we will do for the next week. We vote, we assign points, we discuss, and basically we set the target for the next week. And I want to give a little bit more overview on the development process. Our main principle that we want to produce quality code. We want our application and our code to be really high quality. That's why we use several helping principles. First of one, this is Prism. This is framework provided by Microsoft, mainly to manage our architecture and to keep it clean and maintainable. We use a lot of unit testing, so we try to cover as much as possible of our code, just to be sure that it won't break with every new single change that we make. We use a code style solution, just to be sure that during around all our project, the style is okay, and it doesn't matter what class you open, you see the same style, and it will be easy to you to read if you need to. We use dependency injection because this helps us to concentrate on our main job, implementing the different application scenarios and not so much creating new objects. We have CI builds, which are very important because immediately we know when we have a bug and we have to address it. Because these builds are important not only for us but for QA people, for the designers. So this helps us to stay on the same page. And of course SDK. SDK are very important for us because they give us the chance to concentrate again on our main job to create and to cover the different application scenarios and not so much to create everything from scratch. As I said, our SDK team are very helpful and they're doing a great job helping us. And I want to give you like a brief example. what does it mean to have like 24/7 operations? A few months ago we have a problem with our build. It happened in the end of our working time, and we tried to fix it here. We couldn't, and we passed the ball to our team in San Francisco. They also addressed it, and with several iterations like this, we managed to address it. The big point is here that we feel the real power of 24/7 operations. When we are not able to finish something because of time limitations, we also can write an email and say, hey, please, can you take a look at this and can you help us with your opinion? And with that, I'll pass the ball now to Emily to continue with the design process.
Okay. So for the design process, it's really important to communicate with engineers of what is necessary for the applications, what type of UI is possible depending on the code, the API, or the server side. So in the beginning, after everything's up on the Kanban board, as I mentioned earlier, there are certain specs or specifications that are, they're the same thing, but there's certain things that you don't know from the description. So this is where I would communicate with engineers, Kanye, about specific how the actual system works. Whether within one, if you press a button, how many functions or how many items might show up. And we need that to be cleared up. So from then, once everything gets figured out, that's where I go in, or any of the designers goes in with the wireframes. And in the wireframes, we use Balsamiq on Confluence and save them in Confluence because it's easier for all the engineers from different countries to access them. And it's really important when creating wireframes, since you can't have real-time communication all the time, to create rather specific UI wireframes, for example, by creating by-screen changes of the UI so the engineer actually knows what's happening, as well as putting notes of how the interaction actually works. And from there, once those are settled through the design review, the designer actually goes in, makes the visuals, and saves them all and stores them all on Confluence. So Confluence is it's like kind of like a boyfriend, girlfriend of a designer, because it's always there to help you communicate. It's always there to help you, with you, to make this wonderful, wonderful app possible. So that is, with these three components, we are able to be efficient as a team, a global team, to create great products for our company to become number one.
Yes, and this helps us a lot to keep the team synergy and to improve the collaboration between these two teams that are based here in Tokyo. For us, it's very important that we have efficient communication, and we stay on the same page. So basically, repeating our two main things, we have to have a global team, and also to have a very mature and efficient way of addressing the different issues that we can do. And with that, we wanted to show you one application that the team was working on and continues to work, and it looks great. So, okay. So first, we'll show you some example videos from the application.
Okay, so this is the top page. You see it's a horizontal scroll, and the whole point of design is to maintain optimized Windows 8 UI and Rakuten shopping experience. So points are a very Rakuten thing. We added a side view, but you notice it's side, and we have customizable functions that allow the user to have their own personalized rankings that they want, whatever they want to see during shopping. The whole point, the main point, is making this very clear, simple, very modern. That's the concept of modern design. And you see how there's Sogo, and then there's ladies, food, your own personalized ranking on your top page. So the user can customize whatever they want to see when they open the Ichiba app. The next demo is the browsing. So the browsing is basically allowing the user to have a clean way to go through the items. It's very different from the current website where you have it's very visual centered, very clean centered, having big tiles. they have different views for this. Genre is easy to go through. You can also change your views depending on how the user wants to view the items. If you're old and your eyes are kind of bad, you might want a big photo. Make sure you want to see everything, beautiful clothes. If you're kind of young and you're very nitpicky about little things, you might want to see very small details of the item itself, and photos are not much of an issue, like this. And then you can also have a nice little reset button if you want to go and you decide that you don't want any clothes, you want some food. So you go to your food, and you have your food list. And on the food list, you can also customize again to filter through what type of items you want to see first. So that's one couple of functions. And you notice that you're really, really hungry, so you want to see the food really big. And the curry is really attracting me, so you go to the curry page and now you're in the product page. So you see this whole process, it's a whole very visual, clean design that allows the users to see what they want, do what they want to do. So on the product page, there's another customization called bookmark. We added a bookmark that you could add, because I really, really like curry. So I added curry into my bookmark, and I'm not sure if it's in there. So to make sure that my personalized curry item is in my bookmark, I go check on my bookmark page. Voila, it's in there. But I noticed I don't really like that fake beer in the corner, so I think I'm going to delete that. And you can delete any type of item that's in your favorites. It's also, you can delete whatever you need to customize your own shopping experience in Rakuten. So we go back to product page. So on the product page, you decide, or at least I decide that I like curry so much that I'm going to purchase it. So you see in the option area, they make it so it's 2 panels, easier for you to select whichever options you need for whatever items you want to buy. So it's very easy, very clean, easy to touch too. It fits my finger. See? So it's perfect. And then next off is some new UI that we added that's going to show up within a week or two in the store is the zoom function, and as well as the pop-up functions, like this one. Oh, it's big. And you can see it large. You can scroll down. And on top of that, another new function that was added is to see other items of the shop. It's at the very end, but right now there's only 9 as default. You click the shop items, and you actually get a whole list of other optional items that you can purchase from the same shop. So now, as a curry fan, I don't have to buy one type of curry, I can buy multiple types of curry. So that is the product page. And last off, I didn't take the video of the last part, but it is the checkout page. So the checkout page can be kind of confusing and kind of scary experience because you're actually going to be paying money for someone. You're going to give your money to someone else. Oh my gosh. But I like curry so much I might want to add a couple. No, I don't want to get that fat, so I might delete a couple. But it's very easy UI. You just touch and you can continue to check out. And this is the checkout page. You can notice how the checkout is very clean. It's very module-like. You scroll through, easy to see. We've also added a tab function for people who don't want to scroll, and it's easy for them to figure out where they are. On top of that, very Rakuten, very important function is our points. Unfortunately, there are no points. Rakuten Title doesn't have any points, so we can't use any of the points to purchase my delicious curry. But we have credit cards. Users can select whichever credit card they want, and it automatically updates right here. Or another test card right here. And most importantly, I feel that this is one of the most important features of all Rakuten user is the mail magazine. Yes, mail magazine. We've also allowed users to customize so they can eliminate all mail magazines if they don't want it, or add all mail magazines if they do want it. So that is about it, and we purchase and you get your curry, or at least I get my curry delivered to my front door.
Yeah, and thank you very much. Now we open to questions.
If you had any question, just to raise your hand.
These are just JSON or not.
Well, I can also
Yeah,
just do. So, my name is James McElroy. I work over in Kobo in Toronto,
Yep.
and Kobo itself is trying to be an international company as well. We have a development team that's in Dublin.
Yep.
Our main team is in Toronto. We have some folks in France. Keeping all of those development teams coordinated together is very difficult for us. And the IT team, when I'm managing, is being asked to provide a lot of collaboration tools, video, audio, and my question is, what have you found is the best to collaborate across continental teams? Skype's okay, but I'm being asked for more.
Yeah, so what we're doing is actually a combination of Skype and Adobe Connect. So we use a lot of screen sharing because most of the times we show our code to the developer that is not in Tokyo. So we use also Movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so we use Movie, but most of the cases we rely on Skype. Yeah, and another thing is that I think it helps a lot. It's not real time, but Confluence.
We have.
Yeah, so this is really helpful because the information will there stays, and you can reference to it later.
Do you do a lot of large team group conferences? Everybody sits around one camera and kind of talks in a conference room sort of thing?
Not really. Just I think from time to time it's more. I think most of the managers do this, but on development level, mainly we use Skype, and it's since our teams are not so big for now, we don't need to. When we have planning meetings, we have a relatively big conference because I think we make a Skype call then with around 10 people sometimes. Because even some of the people here in the office prefer to attend Skype sometimes. So yeah.
That's a lot of people to crowd around one camera.
Yeah, but actually most of them they're not in the same place, so they connect from different locations.
Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, I think there's a global exclusion of Mac users since you're using Windows 8.
Yes.
So the question is, I imagine looking around here in many of the halls or the rooms
Yep.
where these discussions are taking place, a large percentage of people are using Mac. So it seems to me that there is a large number of people waiting to come on board. Come on board, is that the word?
Yes.
So anyway, there's a large number of Mac users waiting to come on board. What do you make of this global exclusion of Mac users? Have you checked to see a percentage of possible users that you may not be addressing, you may not be serving, you may be excluding? In restricting yourself to Windows 8, as opposed to adopting a bi-platform approach to the service?
So maybe I didn't make myself enough clear, but our department, Smart Device Team Department, has like several different teams. So our goal, like a company, we're a service company, and we want to cover all of the different, all the attractive platforms at the moment. So that's why we have iOS team, and they develop only for iPhone, iPad. Also, we have our Android team. I'm part of the Windows 8 team, and I realized that still it would take some time to attract more and more users. But personally, for me, I'm sure that this will happen. Microsoft proved during the years that they know how to do this, to fight with the skepticism of people. And I think they have the resources, they have the will, so in my opinion, this is just a matter of time. Yeah? More questions?
I'm also working for the global company, and we are also working as a part of the global team. So I think that you just mentioned, I think one of the biggest reasons to have the global team is about the talent things, skill things. So how do you nominate and select those kind of talented people from the world? Do you have any kind of database to register the skill set or something, and how you can maintain those kind of information?
So maybe I cannot address your question like 100% because we have like a whole very big department, global HR department. So I think their main task is to find the right people. But I also can tell you that we managed to attract people from Apple, from EA game company. We have a big team from Opera, and I think it's very important when you have like one very good professional in your team. The word of mouth works perfectly for us because people are coming more and more because they trust their friends and they recommend them. They explain what is the situation. So step by step we are growing, and we are going, I think, in the right pace with the right people. And I think the team is just to prove that with the time.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have two questions. First one is, are you creating just for the Japanese Ichiba, or are you creating for other countries' sites too?
Okay. Do you want to ask me a second question? Or?
Okay, second question is, in the global team, the most common problem is the turnover rate, people quitting. If you have experienced something like that, and what kind of things you're doing to keep the turnover rate low?
Okay, so about your first question, actually our department, at least this is my feeling, was created exclusively to target global markets. And yes, we work on many global projects at the moment, but still they're not public and we cannot show you information about them. But yes, we work mainly on global projects. And about the second question about the turnover, from my experience here in the company, I can tell that most of the people in our team, they're very happy, and I don't feel that there are so big problems that can provoke like a high turnover rate. We had cases that people are quitting, but this is mainly because they didn't fit in Japan, not in the team, not in Rakuten. We are discussing a lot of these things between us, and we are pretty sure that this is, if it's not the best, this is one of the best places to work in Japan if you're international, if you're a foreigner in Japan and you want to work in an international environment.
Well, I didn't mean the Japanese. I meant the U.S. and India. Japanese don't kind of quit too much.
Yes,
in the US and in India, I think the
yes.
turnover rate is
So
high.
mainly in our department, in our team, we are mainly foreigners. We have 2 or 3 people that are Japanese. Everybody else, from around 40 people, are coming from more than 17 countries. So we don't have this problem, and I don't think we will experience it soon.
Thank you.
Next question. So thank you very much.